Tupac not
I ain't as
dead.
smart as you showed me.
Tupac not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar.
A clip with Suge Knight meeting Tupac in Cuba got viral.
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
If Tupac Shakur really died in 1996, then why do so many people, friends, rappers, even Suge Knight himself, swear that he's still alive? The official record says Tupac was gunned down on the Las Vegas Strip, yet decades later, the case is unsolved. The details don't quite add up, and rumors of his survival keep flooding the internet. In fact, new sightings pop up so often that the legend has grown beyond music. It's almost become a modern myth. But what if those myths aren't just fan fantasies? What if the cracks in the official story reveal something darker or stranger than anyone wants to admit? To understand why this conspiracy refuses to die, we need to rewind to the night of the Tyson fight in Vegas, where Tupac's final hours were supposed to play out. But as you'll see, every detail of that night is messier, more confusing, and more suspicious than anyone expected. And the deeper you look, the more impossible it seems to draw a clear line between the official version and the story whispered in shadows for nearly 30 years. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac arrived in Las Vegas with Suge Knight, the powerful head of Death Row Records, to watch Mike Tyson knock out Bruce Seldon at the MGM Grand. After the fight, Tupac and his crew spotted Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a Southside Crip, in the hotel lobby. Within seconds, fists flew, and Tupac personally landed the first punch. Security broke it up, but the brawl was no small scuffle. It set the stage for what came next. Hours later, as Suge drove his black BMW toward a nightclub, a white Cadillac pulled up beside them. Gunfire erupted. Bullets ripped into Tupac's chest and thigh, and Suge himself was grazed. Somehow, Suge managed to keep driving, but cops stopped the car just blocks away, stunned at the bloodied scene. Tupac was rushed to the hospital, where doctors placed him in a medically induced coma after he repeatedly tried to climb out of bed. For 6 days, fans prayed outside the hospital, but on September 13th, the news broke. Tupac was gone. Official cause: respiratory failure and cardiac arrest from his injuries. Yet, from the very beginning, the story felt unfinished. No suspects were arrested, no charges were filed, and questions began to pile up faster than answers. The first problem was the investigation itself, or lack of one. Despite Tupac being one of the most famous rappers in the world, Las Vegas police never made an arrest. Suge Knight later claimed that just hours before Tupac died, the two of them were joking and laughing in the hospital.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They loved me.
How does a man go from stable to gone in a matter of hours? Stranger still, nobody outside the inner circle ever saw Tupac's body. There was no public funeral, no casket, and his supposed cremation was handled so quickly that even family members raised questions. The cremator, reportedly paid millions in cash, vanished from the public eye soon afterward. Then came the coroner's report, which listed Tupac's weight at 215 pounds, nearly 50 pounds heavier than his known frame of 160. How could an official report be that wrong? Skeptics saw it as proof of a cover-up. Add to that the fact that Suge Knight, one of the most connected men in the industry, kept insisting that Tupac was fine when he last saw him, and the mystery only deepened. To this day, the inconsistencies make it hard for fans to believe the official story without doubt. Theories about Tupac's fate can't be separated from the bloody East Coast-West Coast rap feud. Just 2 years earlier, Tupac was ambushed at Quad Studios in Manhattan, shot 5 times, and left bleeding in the lobby. Many believed the notorious B.I.G., Pac's former friend turned rival, had some connection to the setup. Tupac himself accused Biggie and Bad Boy Records of betrayal, escalating the feud into open war. By 1996, Pac was releasing furious diss tracks like Hit 'Em Up, turning personal grievances into national headlines. With tensions boiling, some believe Tupac knew his life was on the line and may have plotted his own escape. After all, Biggie himself was murdered in LA just 6 months after Pac, in another drive-by that remains unsolved. 2 rap icons dead within a year, and no justice in either case. Fans wondered if both deaths were part of something larger, an orchestrated cleansing of the rap scene, or perhaps a master plan by Tupac to vanish before he became the next target. Almost immediately after his death, whispers of Tupac sightings flooded the streets. Rapper Tretch casually claimed in a hot mic moment, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Good? We good. Thanks a lot, man.
Last time I saw him, he was in church.
Suge Knight himself kept repeating that nobody saw Tupac dead.
Tupac not
ain't as
dead.
smart as you should be.
Tupac not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar.
In fact, during interviews, Suge hinted that everything about the hospital was suspicious. Meanwhile, fans reported spotting lookalikes across the US, from parking lots to nightclubs. Some stories were clearly fake, but others seemed oddly convincing. The most persistent rumor tied to Tupac's own alias, Machiavelli. Pac had been reading Niccolò Machiavelli, the Italian philosopher who suggested faking one's death as a strategy to outsmart enemies. 2 months after Pac's death, an album appeared under the name Machiavelli, as though he had already transformed into his new identity. The timing was uncanny, and fans connected the dots. Maybe Pac didn't die. Maybe he simply slipped into the shadows. The Knight family has been at the center of the Tupac mystery for years. Suge Knight repeatedly told reporters, Tupac not dead. If he was, they'd have arrested someone for murder by now. In 2014, he told TMZ flat out that Pac was alive.
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
Sparking chaos online. Then, in 2018, his son Suge Jr. took things even further. On Instagram, he claimed Tupac was alive in Malaysia, posting alleged pictures of Pac with modern celebrities like Beyoncé and 50 Cent. He even shared a supposed text exchange where someone warned him, "You said too much. Time for you to go." Followers couldn't decide if Suge Jr. was trolling or blowing the whistle on a dangerous secret. But the fact remains, both father and son, closer to Pac than almost anyone, have kept the rumors alive with their own words. Whether you call it inside knowledge or family myth-making, their statements ensure that the theory never dies down.
It's been confirmed Tupac is alive and he's been living in Cuba all this time. This is a photo I snapped of him with my Nokia phone. That's the only phone the Cuban governors would let me bring into the country. He's been living in Cuba. This is a small farm that he lives on that he does more for just a hobby, and he says connect to the earth. This is the local bar that he sits at and grabs a beer every day. I talked to the bartender and they said, we love him. We didn't know that it was Tupac. And this is his fishing boat. He says he goes fishing almost every day and then he eats the fish. He said, you can't beat this life.
Among all the theories, the Cuba escape stands tallest. Tupac's aunt, Assata Shakur, has lived in Cuba since escaping U.S. authorities in 1984. For many fans, that made Havana the perfect hiding place. Over the years, grainy photos and shaky videos have surfaced, claiming to show Pac in Cuban neighborhoods. In one clip, a man who looked eerily like Tupac lounged in a parking lot. Another showed Suge Knight speaking with a man who resembled Pac. filmed from behind. Then came the photoshopped, or maybe real images of Pac with Rihanna or Alive decades later. Rap itself helped keep the myth alive. Kendrick Lamar referenced it on Damn, rapping, "Fake my death, go to Cuba, that's the only option." Eminem joked about it in a freestyle. Each lyric only added gasoline to the fire. If Pac wanted to vanish, Cuba, protected, isolated, and tied to family, was the perfect option. The album The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, became the holy text of conspiracy believers. Released under the Machiavelli name just weeks after his death, the album cover showed Tupac crucified, echoing resurrection. Instead of Suge Knight, the producer credit was given to Simon, the apostle who first saw Jesus rise. In the Hail Mary video, Tupac literally returns from the grave, and the lyrics? They sounded like direct messages from beyond. "Expect me like you expect Jesus to come back," Pac declares. On I Ain't Hard to Find, he raps about rumors of his own death, calling them twisted fiction. To believers, this wasn't coincidence. It was Tupac preparing his fans, leaving behind breadcrumbs that pointed to a bigger plan. Whether it was artistry, prophecy, or intentional misdirection, it's no wonder fans felt that Tupac was telling them he'd be back. Not everyone buys the Cuba story. Some believe Tupac escaped Las Vegas by helicopter that night, flown to safety by insiders who knew the hit was coming. Filmmaker Rick Boss insists Tupac used a body double, leaving behind a look-alike to die in his place. Boss even announced a movie about this theory, claiming Pac later lived under Navajo tribal protection in New Mexico. Others believe Tupac orchestrated every part of his disappearance, planting lyrical clues, album art, and symbolic messages to turn his death into a legend. The wilder the theories get, the stronger they spread, because every unanswered question in the official version gives conspiracy thinkers new ground to play on. Tupac wasn't just another rapper. He was a cultural force, a voice of rage and revolution, and a symbol of resistance. That's why his death never felt like closure. His charisma, his contradictions, and his brilliance made him larger than life. And when people like that disappear suddenly, myths are inevitable. Every suspicious report, every blurry photo, every cryptic lyric becomes proof to someone that he outsmarted death. Maybe Tupac did fake his death to escape the chaos of fame. Or maybe fans simply can't accept that someone so powerful could be gone so soon. Either way, the legend of Tupac has taken on a life of its own, one that may never end. And that leaves us with one haunting question. If Tupac really is alive somewhere, living quietly in peace, would he ever return? Or has he already given us all the clues we need?